Warning. Content from Briarheart 02 may be unsuitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Briarheart 02 YouTube channel. We're starting the year off right with a new viewer discretion warning at the beginning of each video because I'm paranoid about Kappa even though I shouldn't be. Yay. So yeah, that, and we're gonna be taking a look at one of my least favorite stories and Tom Baker's first story as the Doctor, and we're going to be delving. This is a bit of a different review for me because I'm tackling it unscripted, but I'm doing this thing that was recommended to me for my 8th Doctor vlogs and book stuff, where I actually have some notes about what I want to go over. So this is a bit of an experiment. So I've decided to review Robot unscripted, but with notes in front of me, so that hopefully I can get some coherent thoughts together and make some valid points. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Robot is by Terrance Dicks, and I think it's easily his worst script. It plays it very safe and sticks to the Pertwee format rather than trying to usher in the new era of the show. It does the exact opposite of what Pertwee's first story as the Doctor did, and in shaking up the format and just sticks to what was before, except now Tom Baker's the Doctor. As for the story itself, there are two main plot lines going on. The first main plot line is this evil bad science organization is trying to destroy the world with a bunch of nuclear missiles, and it's using a robot to steal all the stuff from all the government officials and vaults that it needs to get the launch codes, get the countdown, and get everything ready to make basically the Cold War a hot war and destroy the planet. The second part of the plot comes in with the robot. The robot has been programmed to serve humanity, not to destroy it, kill, or anything like that. So the evil bad science organization is making it go against its programming, and it has a conflict, and Sarah Jane Smith comes in and shows the robot compassion. For me, the robot bit is actually the more compelling part of the story. I think if the story had focused on that plot rather than the evil bad science organization, it would have worked. It would have been a more interesting story to watch, but instead, the robot in his own story is sidelined to look at the government evil bad science Nazi organization. And the issue is, once you actually think about it, the evil science organization is kind of ridiculous. Their motive for wanting to blow up the planet is, we should be in charge, but we're not. So blow up the planet. We should be in charge because we have the superior minds and we are not appreciated. So what's the next logical thing to do? Blow up the planet. And it just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I don't understand it. It is stupid, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Until the end, most of the performances from the villains are completely wooden, and it just doesn't work. And Terrance Dicks doesn't write the dialogue well enough to overcome the bad acting here. It's not good. It's very dire. Speaking of bad acting, well, not bad per se, but uncomfortable acting. Tom Baker is obviously, he's not comfortable in the role at all. Which is weird, because I think this one was actually filmed after The Ark in Space, and in The Ark in Space he's much more comfortable, but in this one he's giving a very, very restrained performance. He's not taking the reins as he should be. It feels sort of half-baked here. It's not one of his best performances. Normally Tom Baker can save a little bit of bad writing, but not this time. He doesn't really succeed at that. Part 4 goes all stupid too. Back to the plot, I mean. This is possibly the worst episode of the story simply because of the fact that Terrence Dicks just fucking gives up. He's like, well, nothing else left to do except make a King Kong homage, but Doctor Who and sci-fi tropes instead. The robot has been using a disintegrator gun to kill a lot of people by this point in the story, and I can't remember how, but the Doctor and Unit get a hold of the gun and turn it on the robot. And instead of disintegrating, with no explanation whatsoever, because apparently the robot is made of a living metal, it begins to grow, and it becomes a fucking giant robot. And picks up Sarah Jane, who is obviously just a wooden doll in Michael Kilgariff's, because he's playing the robot, in his hand. And we go through this terrible blue screen section where the robot is doing all the King Kong things, smashing cars, crushing people, and it goes on for most of the episode, and it's really painful to watch because the acting isn't there, the effects aren't there, and the writing isn't there. So what's left? I'll tell you what's left. You sitting on the sofa, looking at the end credits, and saying, what the hell did I just watch? That's what's left by it. So, yeah, really awful effects, really terrible writing, not particularly good acting from the mains or any of the supporting cast. And the production for me falls apart.